So, with that being said, welcome everyone on this beautiful Saturday morning. And I'm excited for you because, um, what I love most about this industry is it's about growth. It's about helping people to grow to become the best versions of themselves. And many times you'll hear things that, like, you'll think, why am I going to get on another training? I've been on one before, or whatever it might be. The fact is that I'm learning all the time, and I love learning from young ladies like Stacey because she's absolutely amazing. When I hear her on calls, I'm always blown away. I'm always impressed with what she does on a monthly basis, and she is an absolute rock star. And it was a lot of fun to be able to hang out with her again over the last week and spend some time and connect, because that's really what it's all about. It's about building those relationships and friendships, and I'm so proud to be able to call her and many of the other leaders that have built relationships with, true friends, people that, aren't just, hey, we're doing business together. When you're talking about real life stuff and about how we feel about certain things in our life and talking about how we move through the challenges that we have in life, it's so amazing, because what you'll find is that it's never about just, oh, how do we do this or how do we do that? But it's how do we do that while we're dealing with all the other things in life and all the other challenges. And anytime you hear about a story, what I've realized is you never really enjoy, like, well, how did you do that? What people really want to know is, how did you do that through all of, your life stuff? And that is the case with when we were at this event. Bo talked about every person that failed, and it was like every person that you would look at as being massive successes in life, they were first failures, and that is great. So what I love about this young lady is that she's going to teach you guys how to win. She's going to teach you all how to go out there and win, so you don't have to go through those failures. And we're talking about real life stuff that she's doing today, not something that was done years ago, not something that is a theory, not something that, possibly will work. It's what you can use today to go out there and launch and grow your business. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to my good friend, Stacey Bartley. Over to you, Stacey.
Thank you so much, Chris. I'm so honored to be here. And you guys, I'm excited to be here. I feel like we are walking into like this whole new wave of momentum. And I just could not be more honored to be speaking with you today. And I just want to also acknowledge every single one of you who has chosen to take the time out of your day today to be on this Zoom, to invest in yourself, to invest in your business. Whether you are brand new in this business and you're just getting started, maybe you're relaunching your business, maybe you've been here a while and you're just kind of like getting back on track, whatever it might be, you've decided today to take action. And here's the reality, you guys: life rewards action. So in addition to being on this Zoom, and I hope I'm going to keep this as simple as possible, and I'm going to keep it nice and short and sweet. But at the end of the day, I hope that there's something that I bring today that either inspires you, gives you value. Maybe it's something you've heard before, but I say it a little different, or it hits you a little different. And what I want to encourage you to do today is to not only get inspired or get excited, but to put it into practice. Right? Because that's really at the end of the day, what this is all about, is taking what we're learning and doing the dang thing, right? Okay, so with that said, I just will quickly introduce myself and I'm going to get right to it. So hello, as Chris said, I am Stacey Bartley. I am a mom of two. My little ones are thankfully way out there and will not be interrupting me during the Zoom, because most of the time the kids are literally on me during the Zoom. You can build a business and raise kids at the same time, trust me. But no, I've been in network marketing, you guys, for 5.5 years now. And I actually started just for the discount. Full transparency, I just wanted a discount and that was it. But I started seeing everyday people just sharing what was working for them and making an income. And I was like, why am I not doing that? Like, if they can do it, I can do it, right? So that's where I started. And, I've been on this journey, like I said, for 5.5 years. The last 2 years of my journey, I've been here with the Happy Co. And you guys, my life has completely changed since coming to this company. Completely changed. I'm sitting here, as you guys can see, this is my brand new office. This was like dream board status. I never thought I would ever have something like this in my life, let alone as soon as I've been able to create it. I'm looking out on my gorgeous backyard that's finally almost done. It's taken a while with COVID and all the issues. But you guys, these are big ticket items that, my husband and I, we just never imagined being able to do as soon as we are. And the fact that we are quite literally creating our dream life and our dream house and our dream yard, dream office, because of the income here that I've been able to generate through this company. It's putting chills on my skin in this moment. And I share that with you because I want you to know that anything truly is possible here. Okay. I am nobody special. I am nobody different. I am literally just a girl who saw other people doing it. And I said, why not me? And that is it. And I committed and I decided I was going to be focused despite the challenges, despite the things that life threw me. I wasn't going to get fazed by the no's and by the hurdles. And I just committed, and the rest is history. And here I am 5.5 years later. So with that said, you guys, as Chris said, how did I do it? What have I been doing? This is the coolest part about what's happening here is that we keep it super simple. At the end of the day, we have a 4-step simple system that I have been doing since day one. The leaders told me to do it, and I said, they're finding success. I'm going to do what they're doing. And that's really at the end of the day what's happening here, right? Success leaves clues. Okay, don't try to go on your own path. It might take you a little longer. I don't know. So I've been following the system. I still do it today. I teach my team to do it. This is really, truly what has created success for so many before me, for me as well, for many after me. So let's just get to it. So the first step, you guys, you're going to love this because I think every single person on this Zoom can already check this off the list and will continue to check this off the list forever. It's be a product of the product. So what does that mean? Drink your coffee and be happy, right? Like at the end of the day, that's literally all we're doing. Maybe it's your tea, maybe it's your lemonade, maybe it's your unwind, whatever it is, maybe it's all of the above. But at the end of the day, use the product, experience the product, and start creating your story or your testimony around the product. Simple. Done. Okay, so step 1. Step 2 is really dependent on step 1, and that's share your story. Okay, so it's really important to consistently be sharing our story. And there's a lot of ways to do this. At the end of the day, you guys, don't overcomplicate it. It's all about being excited. It's all about sharing genuinely what you are experiencing in that moment. And guys, your story's going to change. Like I said, I've been with this company for a little over 2 years now, almost 2.5 years, actually, now that I think about it. And I started when I was pregnant, okay? I wasn't trying to lose weight. I was trying to gain weight. My focus at that time was energy and hormone balance. And that's what I talked about. Trucking through Italy 8 months pregnant and not taking a nap. That was my story, right? Then it was postpartum and it was losing weight. And it's evolved, right? Your story is going to evolve. So keep sharing your story. It reminds me of the Geico commercials and stuff, right? They say on average, it takes somebody 7 times of hearing a story or an idea before they're even receptive to it. Receptive to it. So think about that, right? If you're brand spanking new and you haven't made your launch post yet, and then you make your launch post and maybe you don't get the traction you're anticipating or expecting, that's okay. You got to keep going. Time 2, time 3, time 4, and don't stop at 7 either, right? 7 is the average, right? We have to just keep sharing our story again and again and again. You're going to feel a little bit like a broken record, and that's the idea, okay? So some things that I found to work really well when it comes to sharing our story this is a fancy little phrase or word. Maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't. Curiosity and attraction marketing. Okay. Some people do it. Some people don't do it. Here's the big difference between those two. And this is why I love curiosity and attraction marketing. So what curiosity and attraction marketing is, it's sharing your story in a way that really comes back to your experience, what you're noticing, not blasting the product names, not blasting the company name, not regurgitating all the facts or the benefits or the ingredients or getting all crazy or sciencey or anything like that. At the end of the day, when people do that, or when we do that, because I'll tell you guys, personal experience with my first company, I did do that. And now I understand why everybody thought I was super salesy. Hello, right? So putting the product names and the product labels and all that stuff on social media, two things can happen. One, somebody can feel like we're an advertisement. They're going to feel like we're selling to them, right? And they're going to scroll past and be like, well, what is that? Or number two, maybe they actually are interested despite that, but here's what's going to happen. They're probably going to go over to Google, and they're probably going to Google it, and they're going to make their own opinion. And the problem with that is that now we've missed out on the biggest piece of this puzzle, which is building relationships with people, right? We want to have the opportunity to connect with that person, to listen to them, to find out what they're looking for, right? Maybe they need more energy, maybe they, whatever it might be. But if we don't have the opportunity to have that conversation with them, we don't have an opportunity to help them. We don't have the opportunity to give them information that's relevant to what they're looking for. And they're at the mercy of the crazy web. So essentially that's like the beauty of attraction marketing, is it attracts people to us based on the curiosity of how we present the information. So how I like to do that is I like to focus on the benefit of the benefit. Okay, so here's a couple scenarios. Scenario one, this is not the case. Oh my gosh, I've been drinking my happy coffee and I have so much more energy and it's awesome, with like a big thumbs up picture, like there's nothing wrong with that, right? Somebody might look at that and be like, oh, that's so cool. Stacey has more energy, man, energy's awesome. Good for her, and that's it. And then they move on. But what if I said, oh my gosh, I made this simple change to my day, and I am so thankful. I was able to go bike riding with the kids yesterday. I even had the energy to come home from the bike ride, sit down, do a puzzle with them, and read some stories. And I was so in the moment because I wasn't so exhausted trying to get through the activities so that they could go down for a nap and I could go lay on the couch. Right?
Coffee leader.
All of a sudden, oops, can we make sure we mute our lines? Thank you.
What time do you want to go? You have to pick a time.
Christina, can you mute your line? So do you guys hear the difference between those things? Uh-oh, am I still here? Okay. Do you guys hear the difference between those stories? Now all of a sudden, there's like heartstrings being pulled in that second story. People really understand and they feel it. They feel it at a different level. Energy is energy, and it doesn't have emotion behind it. But when we put the emotion behind it, now all of a sudden somebody is like, whoa, I relate to that, right? Some of the best conversations and the best relationships that I've ever built are because somebody got in my inbox, or maybe I started the conversation, but they, one way or another, communicated, man, that time that you shared that, about how like you always used to go into the pantry and like mindlessly eat the peanut butter pretzels, and you knew you didn't want to keep eating them, and you knew you weren't hungry, but you couldn't stop. And then now all of a sudden you started implementing this new capsule, this magic capsule, and that emotional eating has gone away. Man, I relate to that. I am always in the pantry. And, and all of a sudden you have this really genuine conversation, and it's because you're sharing a story. You're not sharing the benefits necessarily. It's the benefit of the benefit. Okay. So that's a big part of sharing our story. The other part of sharing our story, you guys, posts are awesome. Stories, actually getting in the story feature on social media is great because a couple reasons. One, I hate to say it, the average person it's kind of a little lazy sometimes, right? I mean, I'll even admit I can be lazy too. And so the reality is stories, they just kind of like, they tell themselves for you, right? You don't have to scroll, you don't have to read. So people love stories. And so what's really cool about that is that on top of that, on top of knowing that people are in stories and we can really hit a lot of people that way, right? Because the more people we hit, the more people we can impact, the more people we can change, all the things. But there's an actual viewers list in stories. There's a viewers list. Guess what? For all of you who are just getting started, or again, maybe you've been here a while and you're like, I'm not sure who I should be talking to right now. Start there. Get in your stories, look at who's viewing your stories, and start a genuine conversation with every single one of them, right? We don't have the benefit of seeing who views our posts. We don't get a viewers list of who views our posts. And again, this isn't to say not to do the posts. The posts are vital. Your profile page is your business card. Your business card needs to be open for business. But the stories are another way to get leads and to hit people in a different way, right? So the viewers list is huge. Just start a conversation, right? We always say, as Chris says, don't be a weirdo. Don't all of a sudden like become a weird scientist or anything like that. Literally just say, hey, thank you so much for watching my stories. Like maybe you're brand new and be like, I just started these. Do you like them? I have no idea what I'm doing. Laugh it off. Or if you've been doing them for a while, hey, I appreciate your continued support of watching my stories. It means so much to me. How's your weekend going? What are you up to this Saturday? Get a little chit chatty. And then you can just jump in and say, by the way, I got to ask you, do you happen to drink coffee at all? Right? And you just kind of move on from there. It's very, very simple what we do. Most of the time, people just truly overthink it and they feel like they have to all of a sudden be this crazy expert that you don't really have to be. Okay. Which actually kind of leads me into step 3. So step 2 is share your story a lot. Step 3 is use the tools. Don't be the tool, right? Don't be the expert. So I'll tell you guys, that was probably, this step here was probably the biggest shift between my prior experience in network marketing and my current experience in network marketing, and what I really do attribute having so much more success here. I mean, there's so many pieces, but this has just been one of the biggest pieces for me. And it's because I thought, and I don't know who can relate to this, raise your hand or drop an emoji in the comments if you can relate to this, but have you ever felt like when you start something new, all of a sudden you have to become an expert in that thing? Like, who relates to that? Where you're like, okay, I'm starting a business. I got to get like a binder, and I got to like start researching all the products, and I need to know the difference between all the products, and I need to know what all the ingredients are. And what if somebody has a question and I can't answer it? And like, you go down this spiral, and you know what happens? You actually don't take action. Remember what I said at the beginning of this call? What is life reward? Action. That is an action. That's like overthinking and feeling like you have to do all these crazy things. And I'm going to tell you right now, listen to this. You do not need to know any of that at all. Want to know why? We have tools that truly have all of the answers. Okay. So what's beautiful about that? A lot of things. Number one, nobody really wants to like learn all that stuff. I don't. I'd rather like, go jump on Chris's boat and hang out and sail. I don't want to learn all that stuff. Right? Which, by the way, Chris, I want to get on that dang boat. Anyways, that was a side note. But seriously, you guys, like, I don't want to learn all that stuff. I don't want to be a scientist. I don't want to have my lab coat. I don't want to be a pro or an expert at all that. I really just want to pass the ball, and passing the ball takes a lot less time, takes a lot less effort, right? So that's the first beautiful thing about it, is it's honestly a lot easier to just do that, right? The second reason why is because it's duplicatable. Duplication is the key to building a big business. Truly. It's not what you can do, it's what you can duplicate, period. That is how you build a big business, is you duplicate. So here's the reality, and this is what a lot of people, and I say this because this was me too, sometimes forget, is that every time you're sharing about the products or the business, you're exposing somebody to what you're doing, and they're now stacking themselves up to what you're doing. And they're subconsciously measuring up and thinking, could I do that too? Right? So if I'm talking to my friend Jenny and I'm telling her about the products, and all of a sudden, again, I'm like rattling off all the details and the ingredients and all these things and getting all crazy and sciencey on her, you know, maybe Jenny just lost her job, or maybe Jenny has kept her job but hates her job, or maybe Jenny's like her husband's struggling and, you know, maybe they need to make more money, or there's an infinite amount of scenarios where maybe Jenny is actually starting to think about like plan B, like I need another income stream. And she's like, wow, Stacey just started something. Let me, what she's up to. Right? And now all of a sudden I get all crazy on her. She's going to be like a hard no on that. But if I'm like, oh my gosh, you drink coffee? Girl, I just started drinking this coffee. I swear I feel freaking phenomenal with this coffee. But hey, you got to read all these stories. You got to read all these testimonies and see what it's doing for other people. What's in it? Oh, girl, it's natural. Let me just tag you in the ingredients, right? Like just pass the ball. And she's like, oh, dude, that's all she does? How much is she making over there? Wait a minute. Let me take a look at this, right? It's a whole different experience, right? So keep that in mind. Say less, do more, right? And ask the right questions too, because at the end of the day, it is important to know what people are looking for so you can really tag them in the right information. So I always ask them, you know, what aspects are you most interested in? What are you looking for? You know, how are you feeling lately? Okay, so what are these tools that I've been referencing? We've got customer pages in Facebook, right? That's my favorite tool because there's a search bar, there's testimonies, there's, like I said, ingredients and information. You know, why do you think Amazon and Yelp and these businesses that have all of these reviews, why do you think they're so successful? A big part of it is the third-party proof and the social validation around it. Right? I know when I'm looking for something, I'm always reading the reviews. So that's what these customer pages are doing for us, you guys. So use that, leverage that. That is an incredible tool that's going to connect the person you're talking to the right information. And it goes back to what I was saying about sharing your story. We want to hit people on an emotional level, right? We want to understand what they're looking for. And if we understand what they're looking for and we can connect them to the right story, going to hit them so much different than telling them what natural ingredients are in the coffee. They're never going to feel that on an emotional level, right? So that's really the key. What other tools do we have? The app has some great videos. I especially love the Connect Commerce video. That's a great 5-minute video that presents just a little overview of the business. That's a great tool, right? There's other videos as well. Her websites now are great. You know, once I get people on the customer page, I give them the website because we have an amazing website with science and all the facts and details again, okay? Sampling, right? Sampling is another tool because sampling gets the actual product in front of the person. Can we mute? Thank you. So I'll tell you guys, like full transparency, I built my business on sampling. My tip around sampling is this. Let's say you make a post and you're sharing your story and somebody reaches out and they're like, oh my gosh, like what is this magic you're talking about, right? Because again, that's what you want them to say. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me, you know, got to show you the info, whatever. I'm not going to bring up a sample of that person because that person's already interested, okay? But I think we need to mute again. Michelle, can you mute? Thank you. So with sampling, let's see, how do I mute people? I don't know how to do that. Okay. So with sampling, I reserve sampling for like thinking about people that I know that, you know, maybe we're not connected online, or even if we are, I don't know if they've seen my post, maybe they haven't quite reached out to me. It's more like me getting bold and saying, oh my gosh, you drink coffee, right? You've got to try this magic. This stuff is freaking phenomenal. And this is what it's doing for me, right? Again, benefit of the benefit. So that's how I approach sampling. Can you guys mute your lines? Thank you. So, and I don't think I have the ability to do that. So, okay. So that's how I approach sampling. Maybe it's somebody who's just been on the fence for a while and it's like a follow-up tool. At this point, I'm like, girl, seriously, you could have been like feeling so much better by now. Like, let me just get you a sample. You got to experience this magic, right? So these are the tools that we want to use. And I always really do treat sampling in a way of like, I also make sure they're in that customer page because I want them to get the social proof and the third-party validation on top of that. So anyway, so that's it. The fourth step is following up. And you guys, following up is such a vital piece of this puzzle. I really do believe at the end of the day, follow-up is what separates the people that really build big successful businesses or really see the success that they're looking for. It doesn't necessarily have to be a 6 or 7 figure business, but it's hitting the goals that you have set out to hit. I believe in my heart, it comes down to the follow-up. Really the fortune, as we say, the fortune is in the follow-up, okay? So commit right now. I want every single one of you, drop an emoji in the comments below after I say this. I want you to commit to not letting the no's kick you out of this business. Okay, amen. Drop an emoji, drop a comment below, drop us something right now. Do not let the no's kick you out of this business. Do not let the no's affect your dreams. Do not let the no's prevent you from building your dream office, from building your dream backyard, from building your dream house. Do not let the no's get in the way of that. Okay? Because here's the reality. Most people are going to say no. Okay? You're going to grow thick skin in this business, but you're also going to learn it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with the products. It has nothing to do with the opportunity. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's literally catching somebody in a moment where they're not in the looking window. That's it. You want to know what that means? So here's 2 scenarios. Let's say my friend Elizabeth is at work and she absolutely freaking hates her 9-to-5 job and her boss just yells at her and, you know, she's just feeling it. And in that moment, maybe if I had, you know, caught her at the right moment then and presented the opportunity, we got chatting and I told her I just started this new business and I'm, you know, doing it on my own hours and it's flexible and there's all this love and support, you know, she probably would be pretty dang receptive to hearing more about it at that moment, right? But then let's say her boss comes back in her office and is like, oh man, I've just been having a rough day. I'm so sorry. I just totally lost it on you. I apologize. Hey, a couple of us are going out for happy hour after work. Why don't you come? You know, and she decides to go and she actually has a pretty decent time. And then I catch her right after happy hour. Do you think she's going to have the same energy around looking at another business opportunity in that moment? No, right? So that's the same person on the same day with 2 completely different answers. So be prepared and be ready to get a lot of no's. But here's the reality. You got to keep following up. You got to keep loving on Elizabeth. You got to keep being a friend to her. And you also need to follow up, not just about the business, not just about the products. Ask about her life. Ask what she's doing this weekend. Be a good friend. Be a good human. Because that's really how, again, we build relationships, right? We are network marketers. Don't shy away from it. The first word's networking, right? Networking. We have to be talking to people a lot. We have to be following up with people a lot. We have to get really good at just not getting attached to the outcome. Get attached to the activity. That's the idea, right? And then the last little piece about follow-up, you guys, it really comes down to your energy and your excitement. Okay, so here's a scenario. Let's say I sampled somebody. Imagine if I sampled you and I said, hey, did you like it? Like, what if I just said that? Did you like it? And they're like, you know, like people read people's energy and they're like, well, it was okay. You know, like I like coffee and it was, you know, I think I liked it. Right? Versus, oh my gosh, I've been dying to hear what the coffee did for you today. Tell me, did you have more energy? Did you notice you were snacking less? What did you notice? All of a sudden they're like, ooh, yeah, you're right. Actually, I didn't snack as much. That was so cool, right? And now you can have that follow-up conversation of, hey, is this something you'd like to get started on? It's the most beautiful question on earth. I will tell you guys, do not wait for people to come to you to tell you that they're ready, right? We're steering the boat. We're steering the bus. We're in charge. We're guiding them through this journey and through this process. And it's our responsibility to check in, to follow up, and to ask them that vital question of, is this something you'd like to get started on? It's gentle, it's easy, it's not salesy, it's not pushy, but it's postured. There's a big difference between pushy and postured. Pushy is annoying and aggressive. Postured is confident in what you have and excited for that person to experience the same thing. That's where you want to be. Okay. Couple last things, and then I'm going to wrap up, you guys. So the 4-step system, just to kind of recap, right? Be a product of the product, use the products, and create your story. Okay. Number 2, share that story again and again and again and again. And even if you feel like you've done it enough, do it like 500 more times. Step 3, connect to the tools. Don't be the tool. Don't be the expert. Pass the ball as much as humanly possible. Step 4, be a follow-up boss. Okay. Couple last things, you guys. Convention is in a month. You want to be there. Trust me on this. You want to invest in yourself. You want to invest in your business, just like you're doing today. You are going to take yourself to the next level. You're going to take your business to the next level. You're going to be so grateful that you made that commitment. Yes, it's a commitment. And it's something that is very hard to put into words. You just have to be there and you have to experience the energy around it. Tomorrow's the last day to get it on sale, the discount, the ticket on sale. So I will tell you, get it. Because here's what happens. Even if you don't have all the logistics worked out, as soon as you commit to that ticket, guess what's going to happen? You're going to figure the logistics out because you're now committed. Okay. Trust me on this. You're going to want to be there. Next thing, I want to encourage you guys, like I said at the very beginning of this call, to actually take some legit action on whatever I've shared with you today. Okay. So if you haven't gotten a post up, your first launch post up, get that post up today. Type up a few little ideas, send it to whoever sponsored you or enrolled you into the business, share it with them and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I pulled from today's call. What do you think about this? Do you think that this is a good post? And by the way, a picture of you, a picture of your family, faces are always going to go a lot better than like a picture of like a mug or a bottle or something like that. There's, again, there's emotion behind that. There's no emotion behind the mug. Okay. We want to hit the emotion. Okay. So get that post up, get in stories, right? Take the action today. Very last thing, I'm going to close out with a quote. This is like my new favorite quote. I don't remember if it was Garrett McGrath that said it, or maybe it was Bo Short, but it is, it's not the most talented who succeed. It's the most focused and consistent who succeed. So with that said, you guys, have a beautiful and blessed Saturday and weekend. Thank you. I am honored to be here, and I hope you guys have a great day.
You rock.
Great.
Thank
Love you.
you.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Stacy.
So good, Stace.
Thank you so much, Stacy.
You're so welcome. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Stacy.
Well,